Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Winnebago County Board meeting. Tonight is Thursday, January 23rd, 2025. Our invocation and pledge allegiance this evening is going to be by Board Member Dave Tassoni. Please stand.
Thank you, Chairman. Dear Lord, this evening we ask that you protect all our servicemen and women that keep us safe. We ask that you give a special hand to those dealing with tragedy out in Los Angeles there. And we ask that you help those dealing with tragedy and hardship, and we thank you for all that we have this evening. Thank you, amen. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Very good. Thank you. Mr. Thompson, are there any agenda announcements this evening?
No announcements, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Clerk Gumma, can you please call the roll?
Certainly, thank you, Chairman. We will start with Mr. McCarthy. Present. Mr. McDonald. Present. Mr. Neighbors. Here. Mr. Penny. Here. Mr. Salgado. Present. Mr. Scroll. Here. Mr. Sweeney. Present. Mr. Tassoni. Present. Mr. Michael Thompson. Mr. Ray Thompson. Present. Ms. Valdez. Present. Mr. Webster. Here. Mr. Arena. Here. Mr. Booker. Present. Mr. Butita. Here. Ms. Fellers. Present. Mrs. Gorel. Present. Ms. Hansard. Here. Mr. Hoffman. Present. Mr. Lindmark. Present. Thank you all. Chairman, 20 board members present.
Very good. We do have a quorum and a full flight tonight. Okay, first of all, I want to take a moment to recognize the passing of former Representative Chuck Jefferson. He served on the county board from 1990 to 2001 before becoming our state representative of the 67th District for 13 years. He retired in 2014. His services will be held 11 a.m. Saturday, January 25th at the Coronado Theater on Main Street. The visitation is from 8 a.m. that day until the time of service. So could we all please stand for a moment of silence? Thank you. Okay, a couple things. I want to acknowledge Alderman Jeff Bailey is in the audience. How you doing? Thanks for stopping by. And next, we're going to have a presentation from River Bluff, the annual report to the county board, Laura Schaefer, the administrator, and we are going to have Frank Perricone come on up with her to introduce her. So come on up, folks.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Frank Perricone. I'm chairman of the River Bluff Board of Directors. What I'd like to say as far as the board, we were appointed by the county board in February of 2023. We had our first board meeting March of 2023, and we meet monthly. Our charge by the board was oversight of River Bluff's business operations, and we've been doing just that. We have a board of directors that is very diverse in background. We have a CPA, an attorney, a registered nurse with experience in nursing home administration, a registered nurse experienced in hospice care and providing hospice care at nursing homes, a business executive, a retired labor leader, a retired real estate executive, and our board liaison, John Butita. I'm here to report from the board's perspective, River Bluff is moving in the right direction. and we are making good progress. We have more work to do, and we're going to do it and get the job done and keep River Bluff going in the right direction. Now, my function here today is to introduce Laura Schaefer, our administrator at River Bluff. She's been administrator for a year and a half and has been and was assistant administrator before that at River Bluff. She will provide to the county board an overview and summary of a report, and those materials should be in your board materials. Mr. Chairman, with your permission, I'd like to introduce Laura Schaefer.
Thank you.
Thank you, Frank. Good evening, everyone. It is a pleasure to be here tonight to give you a brief overview on the progress that we've made in the last year at River Bluff. It was a little over a year ago when we set forth on the journey with the River Bluff Board of Directors, and together we made plans, goals, objectives, and we developed some actual goals for River Bluff. Through monthly meetings, reports to the Board of Directors fostered a culture of transparency, partnership, and accountability. The first objective was to build a strong, engaged, and effective leadership team, getting the right person for the right position. And I'm delighted to announce 2 new members to that team that serve in critical positions. We now have Laura DeWeese as an assistant administrator. She comes to River Bluff with 35 years of nursing home experience. Her knowledge and her team approach has been invaluable to our progress. Additionally, we needed a strong clinical leader. Tracy Klein has, in December, accepted the Director of Nursing position, and she comes to us with 30 years of nursing experience and 20 years of nursing home experience. So I'm really looking forward to us working together as a team to tackle 2025. For sustainability, fiscal health is paramount. The first financial goal was to decrease agency expenditures. In 2023, River Bluff had over $5 million in agency expenses for clinical staffing. In 2024, we were able to reduce those expenses by more than $2 million. This was accomplished first by increasing our workforce by 30%. We collaborated with HR, did wage comparisons so that we could be more compatible with the market. Sorry. Other tactics include hosting job fairs and obtaining a dedicated HR representative to help us with the onboarding and hiring process. Next, we needed to maximize and strengthen our revenues. From 2023 to 2024, our revenues increased by nearly $2.6 million. This was accomplished by a variety of tasks. We increased our daily room rates for private pay patients. We enhanced our billing and collection processes to decrease outstanding accounts. We obtained contracts with insurance companies to be preferred provider, and we established goals for payer mix. But one of our greatest accomplishments was maximizing our reimbursement rates for our Medicaid population. 80% of the River Bluff residents are on Medicaid. So we needed to increase our case mix index. In 2023, we were at 0.99 for a case mix index. In 2024, we increased that to 1.31. Now that equates, every 0.1 increase in the case mix index is about $10 per day per resident. With our current census, that equates to about $1.3 million a year of revenue that was just laying on the table. So we accomplished that. Another goal at River Bluff was to increase the average daily census. We're licensed for 304 beds. Our current census, we're around 148. This actually was a 12% increase from 2023, and the Board of Directors have given us a robust goal of 170 for our average daily census. Some of those tactics were working and networking to get to our referral sources, streamlining the admission process, and reviewing our monthly referrals that we've lost to find out where they're going and why. There are several influences that are shaping the nursing home landscape nationally, at a state level, and at a local level. It is easy to get lost in the day-to-day operations. But with the direction of the River Bluff Board of Directors, we strive to make decisions based on data, realities, and the industry's changing atmosphere. We touch the lives of the residents, their families, and ensuring that they are provided the highest level of care, which to our very vulnerable population. Not only are we tasked with meeting their medical needs, but also building a sense of home and community for those that we serve. Through the creation and collaborative atmosphere, engagement, commitment, and open communication, River Bluff has begun its journey to success and sustainability. In closing, I would like to extend an invitation to any of the members of the board to come see River Bluff, see what we're about, and in closing, if you have any questions, you can please direct them towards me or to Mr. Thompson.
Very good, thank you. Any questions?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
thank you, Laura. I'd like to just echo the success that you have made as the new administrator at River Bluff, and we really appreciate the support of not only the county board in the success of River Bluff, but also the board of directors. I think it was probably one of the best things that this county board did in the last 2.5 years was the creation of the board of directors for River Bluff. And Chairman Shirelli and Mr. Butita, who was instrumental in that, really has put together a very, very dynamic, effective board of directors. I'm with them monthly, and they are really a solid group of community members that really have the best interest of River Bluff in mind. I'd like to, if you would indulge me, Mr. Chairman, introduce a couple of the other River Bluff board members here. We have Jim Knutson. Jim was our original chair of the board of directors. Wave, Jim. We have, of course, Mr. Pericone, who is the current chairman. We have Teresa Gable, who is in the purple. Thank you, Teresa. She came back from Florida to be here in support. And then, of course, Mr. Butita, who is our board rep. A very effective board. They meet monthly, and they provide not only support for Laura and her staff, but also provide leadership and direction for River Bluff. Very good. Good move, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Butita. Thank you for that. Thank you, Laura.
Yeah, Angie?
I want to thank all of you too, because when you have good administration, you have good people working there, things get done. And I am just so proud of all of you, of where you have come from and getting over that big hump we were facing at one time. And for those who voted for the tax increase for your levy, sure did help too to get us on that line. Thank you all.
Thank you.
You're good out there.
Thank you.
Good people.
Mr. Butita?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So I don't have a question for Laura. I would just like to acknowledge that, when we were looking for a new administrator, we were prepared to go for a nationwide search. Lo and behold, she was right underneath our nose. So we're appreciative of the job that Laura's done. Her and the leadership and the staff at River Bluff have done the bulk of this work. I'd like to also recognize that a lot of the problems out there were financial. Dave Rickard, our former CFO, got the ball rolling out there. Steve Schultz continues to play a huge role, both of those gentlemen in helping right the ship. So I'd like to recognize them also.
Thank you, Mr. Butita. Mr. Booker.
Thank you, Chairman. Yeah, I remember when we were having talks about keeping a county or privatizing, and I certainly never wanted to privatize, and I think it's a gem for Winnebago County. I believe it's kind of a rarity for counties to have their own nursing home, and that's something that's a benefit to all citizens of Winnebago County. I've been there for all the open houses, for the tours and the hot dogs and chips, and I encourage other board members that whenever they have an open house out there to get out there. So, yeah, thanks to our professional board and the staff at River Bluff. Thank you for everything you do, and thanks for the update tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Booker. Any other comments? No? All right. Thanks, Laura. Great job. Okay, we'll move on to public participation. I'm going to read a statement first. The comment shall be limited to 3 minutes. Speakers may not address zoning matters which are pending before the ZBA, zoning committee, or the county board. Personnel matters or pending or threatened litigation may not be addressed in open session. An individual may speak a maximum of 3 times per calendar year on the same topic. This prohibition shall include the repetition of the same topic in a statement on what is purported to be a different topic. Personal attacks or inappropriate language of any sort will not be tolerated. So we have a few speakers tonight. The first speaker is Fernando Tais. If you want to come forward.
Good evening. My name is Fernando B. Tires, for those who don't know me, which most of you do not know me. But I'm just here to say that I'm going to have to reschedule because I want to change my plan. But while I'm here, I went through something, and then I have a list of people that I would like to thank. First of all, I'd like to thank Mr. Shirley for offering me this time and moment to say what I have to say. But I went through a very serious matter. And you talk about mental health, it's real. And first of all, I'd like to thank the following people who helped me through this. My godmother, Mrs. Squires, who just passed away, and she said I should go up here and say that. She was 95 years old. She was a true Rockfordian, and I'd like to thank her, and we're going to miss her as well. But I'd like to also thank the Capitelli family, the Vecchio family, the DeSanti family, the Sciro family, the Squire family, my Aunt Betty and Carolyn, and I was in a tough situation and kind of helped provoke this mental health thing. For anybody can remember May 16th of 2020, anybody who know what happened that day? It was a mass shooting at Super 8 Hotel. The guy came in and he started shooting and killing everybody. And I was the next one to be shot and killed. I shared my food that day with the clerk. I woke up about 1 o'clock in the morning with the police, coming into my room and waking me up. It's serious. So when they took me out of the room, I had to step over dead bodies. I've never done anything like that. And mental health is a serious, serious thing. And it's not to be taken lightly for that. I'm thankful for the policeman that got me out alive that night. It was a tough deal. And also, my daughter's a police officer for the city of Rockford. My daughter just took a job with the DCFS, and now she has to wear a bulletproof vest. So it's a real rough world out there. And I'm going to probably try to meet with some of the chair people here today. And once again, I'd like to thank you for allowing me to say it and speak on mental health behalf, because it is truly, truly for real. I mean, anything can happen, can just flip like that. And thank you for allowing me to vent on that behalf.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Fernando.
Chairman.
Good to see you. Okay, Next, we have Tyrell Lewis. Come on up.
I've been up here before, but I forgot.
Thank you.
Ready for me? Mr. Chairman, my name is Terrell Lewis, President of the Winnebago County Veterans Assistance Commission. And there I represent AMVETS Post 922 as a delegate. Jesus Pereira asked me to read a statement that he intended to give, but he's required to be out of town this weekend because of a training seminar. But instead, I made copies to be distributed according to the directions on the website for signing up to this, and I'll talk about him. All of you have listened to recent attacks lately against Jesus by disgruntled former employees. These employees should count themselves lucky that they had a job as long as they did. For I heard several commissioners advise Jesus that he should go in, clean house, and start over. However, Jesus is not that kind of man, and he gave our former employees every opportunity to demonstrate their worth. Since Jesus took over as superintendent, Mr. Chairman, you have told me at not less than 3 times how much better the VAC runs with Jesus in charge. The veterans, the county, and the citizens of Winnebago County should count their lucky stars that we fired the last guy when we did, because people of Jesus's caliber, knowledge, experience, work ethic, and commitment to veterans aren't available every day. Good employees don't come cheap. The VAC is not a hamburger joint. The old employees were not very well paid, and their work often reflected that fact. If we got a good employee, they were poached away by another organization that paid more, that paid competitive wages. I don't want to go back to that. Jesus has hired high caliber people. He could use more of them because the number of calls they are receiving is growing. But his staff is getting more done than they have ever done before. But we will not be able to retain such people long if the county continues to give us what one board member said in a meeting that I had with Mr. Torelli and Mr. Chairman and a few board members and finance people and lawyers and all that. When one of the board members says, we're giving you the minimum. Jesus has mentioned that the MVAA provides for a place for a veteran member of the board to have a seat at our table and act as a liaison for the county. As president, let me also extend my personal invitation, Mr. Chairman, for you to appoint a delegate to represent this board at our meetings. Of course, all of you. It's an open meeting like yours. We are subject to the Open Meetings Act like you guys are. Any one of you can attend at any time that you want to. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Good to see you. All right, next, we have a few more public speakers. Mr. Ned Georgic. Is Ned here? No. Matt Sullivan? No Matt Sullivan. Scott Windler?
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Scott Windler. I've been an operating engineer for over 35 years. I live in the Winnebago County, District 9. I've had a wonderful career and I've worked many different jobs, and I would like to see some solar work brought to District 9. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. next is Jerry Fleming. Is Jerry here? No Jerry? Jacob Hanners? No Jacob? Okay. We will move on. Next is the approval of minutes. Approval of the December 5th and 12th, 2024 minutes, and lay over the January 9th and 2025 minutes. Is there a motion? Mr. Arena? Oh, Mr. Arena motions to approve and lay over. Is there a second? Angela, you second? Very good. Is there any discussion on the approval or the layover? Hearing none, is any board members opposed to the layover or the approval? Very good. Please cast a yes for all members present. May I entertain a motion for the consent agenda, which includes the raffle report and the auditor's report. Ms. Hansard motions to approve. Mr. Booker, you're seconding that motion? Very good. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, is there any board members opposed to the raffle report or the auditor's report? Very good. Please cast a yes for all members present. There are no appointments this evening to be read in, so we'll move on to the reports of standing committees. First is the Finance Committee, Mr. John Butita. Good.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This evening, we have 9 ordinances. The first 8 ordinances we are going to group together, and I will read all of them into the record before we take action on them. So if you want to take a restroom break, now would be the time. First one is an ordinance to abate the 2016 Public Safety Sales Tax alternate bond property tax levy for the year 2024, payable 2025. Second one is an ordinance to abate the 2017 C tort property tax and quarter-cent sales tax alternate bond property tax levy for the year 2024, payable 2025. Next is an ordinance abating the tax hereto levied for the year 2024, payable 2025, to pay the principal and interest on the taxable general obligation bonds alternate revenue source, Series 2018. The next one is an ordinance to abate the 2020 A alternate bond property tax levy for the year 2024, payable 2025. Next is an ordinance to abate the general obligation refunding bonds alternate revenue source, Series 2021A bond property tax levy for the year 2024, payable 2025. Next is an ordinance to abate the general obligation refunding bonds alternate revenue source, Series 2021B bond property tax levy for the year 2024, payable 2025. Next is a ordinance to abate the general obligation alternate refunding bonds public safety sales tax alternate revenue source, Series 2022 bonds property tax levy for the year 2024, payable 2025. And last is an ordinance abating special tax roll for 2024 levy year for properties within the special service area for the I-39 Baxter Road County Water District project. And I move to suspend the rules on all of those.
Motion to suspend by Mr. Butita. Mr. Salgado seconds that motion. Are there any board members opposed to the suspension of rules for items 2 through 9 this evening? Very good. Please cast a yes for all members present. The rules are suspended, Mr. Butita.
Then I move for those 8 ordinances to move forward for consideration.
Motion to approve 2 through 9, second by Mr. Salgado. Any discussion, Mr. Butita?
These are annual procedural processes that we go through each year.
Very good. Any board member discussion on number 2 through 9? Hearing none, are there any board members opposed to any of the 2 through 9 or all of them? No? Please cast yes for all members present. Thank you. Mr. Butita.
All right, next we have an ordinance amending the Winnebago County Code to provide for an amendment to eviction fees and process by the Sheriff's Office. And I move to suspend the rules on this one also.
Motion to suspend by Mr. Butita, second by Mr. Arena. Are there any board members opposed to the suspension of the rules this evening? None. Please cast a yes for all members present. The rules are suspended, Mr. Butita.
All right, I move forward, I move that we move this forward for consideration.
We have a motion to approve, and we have a second by Mr. Arena. Any discussion? Mr. Arena.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So, brief explanation. The sheriff was experiencing a delay in their system because there were landlords who no longer needed their service but were not calling to cancel the appointment that had been made. And we thought that so it was a flat fee of $85 regardless of how much time they were taking from the sheriff's department. We thought that by staggering the time so that they're actually paying for the amount of time they're using, it would be more fair. We had done a cost study a couple years ago, which put the hourly cost, I believe, in the range of $135 an hour. This change puts the fee at $100 per hour and provides the same structure of time slots that there were before. And if a landlord does call and cancels their scheduled appointment at least 3 days in advance, then they would have the money refunded. And if they fail to do so, they'll have had to pay that first time, and if they wanted to reschedule, they would have to pay again. So we think that with the larger time slots that people sometimes take, they'll be more motivated to be responsible about it. With that being said, in the version that went through committee, I had left out the half-hour time slot, so I move to amend paragraph 6. The third line down would read, pay a fee of $100 per hour for either 1/2 hour, 1, 2, or 4 hours of service. And then in paragraph 8, the first line would read, landlord shall pay a fee of $100 per hour for either 1/2 hour, 1, 2, or 4 hours of service. And I so move.
Moved by Mr. Arena to amend the ordinance. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Penny. Is there any discussion on the amendment? Hearing none, are there any board members opposed to the amendment? Very good. Please cast a yes for all members present. The item has been amended.
So I move that we move the amended ordinance forward for consideration.
Motion to approve the amended ordinance by Mr. Petita, second by Mr. Arena. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none. Are there any board members opposed to the amended ordinance? Very good. Please cast yes for all members present. Mr. Arena. Mr.
That's all I
Petita.
have this evening. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. The zoning committee, Mr. Webster.
Thank you. Your zoning committee has 2 items on our agenda this evening. Number 1 is Z0524. That's a map amendment, and that is in District 1. That's PIN number on that, Z0524. The petitioners asked for us to lay this over, and so we will grant that request. It'll be laid over to Wednesday, February 26, 2025. The next item on the agenda
Mr.
is an
Webster?
ordinance granting...
Mr. Webster, we need a motion.
Oh,
For
sorry.
the layover.
Need a motion to lay that over.
Move to lay over by Mr. Webster, second by Mr. Penny. Is there any discussion on the layover? Very good. Any board members opposed to the layover? Very good. Please cast yes for all members present. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, the next, I think we're all familiar with this one. It's an ordinance granting site approval for a solar energy facility, and this is in County Board District 9. and the site is commonly known as 5626 Tipple Road, 5303 Dialette Road. PIN number 15-17-100-008. And with that, I would move to approve.
We have a motion to approve by Mr. Webster, a second by Mr. Penny. Is there any discussion, Mr. Webster, from you? Mr. Penny?
Yeah, as Mr. Webster had said, this has been talked about a lot, and I appreciate all the dialogue that's been had amongst board members, also from Trajectory, but more importantly from the residents. I have had several phone calls with residents. I've had several phone calls with Trajectory, and also very familiar with the area. I want to point out a couple things before I voice my vote of support for this project and say, plain and simple, that as a county, we look to business partners like Trajectory to hold up their end of the bargain. I will challenge them moving forward on this project if it is so approved. And I have had the chance to talk with Mr. Kennedy, who's in the audience tonight, and I appreciate you coming out, sir. And I've pledged to not only him, but the rest of the residents that I will make sure to also work with Trajectory if needed to address any concerns that may come up in the future from the residents to bring the best solar project we can to this district. And that's going to be a personal challenge again to Trajectory and Mr. Sprague and his team. But more importantly, my commitment to the residents in the area and of District 9. So that's all I have.
Any further discussion on this ordinance? Hearing none, are there any board members opposed to this ordinance? Mr. Tassoni? You?
No.
Mr. Webster? Any others opposed to this ordinance?
Tassoni.
Yep, I got Tassoni and Webster. Very good. Please cast yes for all remaining board members. Mr. Webster?
Okay, that's all we have. Next Zoning Board of Appeals meeting is Wednesday, February 12th, 2025, and we follow that Wednesday, February 25th with the committee meeting.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Webster. Next, Economic Development Committee, Mr. Sweeney.
We have no committee report tonight, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Sweeney. Next is Operation Administrative Committee, Mr. McDonald.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have a few items this evening. The first is a resolution awarding air duct cleaning for county administration building using CIP 2024 funds, and I so move.
Moved by Mr. McDonald. Is there a second? Mr. Booker seconds that motion. Any discussion, Mr. McDonald?
Not for me, sir. Thank you.
Any board member discussion on this item? Any board members opposed to this resolution? Very good. Please cast a yes for all members present. Mr. McDonald.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Our next item is a resolution awarding purchase of 2 detective squad vehicles for the sheriff's office using CIP PSST 2025 funds, and I so move.
Moved by Mr. McDonald, second by Mr. Huffman. Is there any discussion, Mr. McDonald?
Not for me, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Any board member discussion? Hearing none. Are there any board members opposed to this resolution? Very good. Please cast a yes for all members present. Mr. McDonald.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Our next item is a resolution awarding purchase of 2 civil process squad vehicles for sheriff's office using CIP PSST 2025 funds, and I so move.
Moved by Mr. McDonald, second by Mr. McCarthy. Is there any discussion, Mr. McDonald?
Not for me, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Any board member discussion on this resolution? Hearing none, are there any board members opposed to this resolution? Very good. Please cast a yes for all members present. Mr. McDonald.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Our next item is a resolution awarding purchase of 6 patrol vehicles for sheriff's office using CIP PSST funds, 2025 funds, excuse me, and I so move.
Moved by Mr. McDonald, second by Mr. Lindmark.
He likes those cars.
He liked that one. Any discussion, Mr. McDonald?
Not for me, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Any board member discussion? Hearing none, are there any board members opposed to this resolution? Very good. Please cast a yes for all members present. Mr. McDonald.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Our final item is a resolution awarding VMware annual licensing, and I so move.
Moved by Mr. McDonald. Mr. Arena seconds that motion. Any discussion, Mr. McDonald?
Not for me, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Any board member discussion on item number 6, resolution? Hearing none, are there any board members opposed to this resolution? Very good. Please cast a yes for all members present. Mr. McDonald.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That concludes our report.
Thank you, Mr. McDonald. We got Mr. Tassoni. Come on up. Public Works.
Thank you, Chairman. Good evening, board members. We have 42 resolutions tonight. Thank you, and I'll read these in and speak to them as necessary, Mr. Chairman. Our first item is a resolution authorizing a structural engineering services agreement with IMEG Consultants Corp. For rehabilitation of Roscoe Road Bridge over the Rock River and for the appropriation of the MFT funds. For the record, it's item 25-001, and I would so move.
Moved by Mr. Tassoni, seconded by Mr. Webster. Is there any discussion, Mr. Tassoni?
No, not unless there's any questions, Chairman.
Board member discussion, item number 2. Hearing none, are there any board members opposed to this resolution? Very good. Please cast a yes for all members present. Mr. Tassoni.
Well, thank you, Chairman. Our next item, 25-002, is a resolution for the award of bid for maintenance of traffic signals on the county highway system for the appropriation of MFT funds. This is a 2-year contract, and I would so move.
Moved by Mr. Tassoni, second by Mr. Hoffman. Is there any discussion, Mr. Tassoni?
None, Chairman.
Any board member discussion on this resolution? None.
Thank you, Chairman.
Any,
Oh, sorry.
any board members opposed to the resolution? Very good. Please cast a yes for all members present. Mr. Tassoni.
The next item, let me see, what does this do? Yeah, I'll take these, I'll move these simultaneously, Chairman. Item 2504 and item 2503, resolution authorizing structural engineering services agreement with Hutchinson's Engineering, Inc. For township bridge replacement on Kelly Road over Sumner Creek in Seward Township, and resolution authorizing a structural engineering services agreement with Hutchinson's Engineering, Inc. For township bridge rehabilitation on Goki Road over Pink Creek in Pecatonica Township, and I would so move and speak to them as well.
We've got a motion to approve item number 4 and 5, second by Mr. Booker. Mr. Tassoni.
Thank you. These items are no cost to the county, just for your pleasure. It's pass-through funds that the county highway department administers for townships.
Very good. Any board member discussion on either number 4 or number 5? Hearing none, are there any board members opposed to either of those resolutions? Very good. Please cast a yes for all members present. Mr. Tassoni.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Our next item, item 25-005, is a resolution authorizing a joint funding agreement with the state of Illinois for Elmwood Road resurfacing from Owen Center Road to Illinois 2, and for the appropriation of RBI funds. I would so move.
Moved by Mr. Tassoni. We have a second. Mr. Scroll seconds that motion. Is there any discussion, Mr. Tassoni?
No, thank you, Chairman.
Any board member discussion on item number 6? Very good. Are there any board members opposed to that resolution? Very good. Please cast a yes for all members present. Mr. Tassoni.
Thank you, Chairman. Our next item, 25-006, is an ordinance amending Chapter 82 of the Winnebago County Code designating Elmwood Road, County Highway 66, from Owen Center Road to County Highway 13, which is Illinois Route 2. I'm sorry, that wasn't right. Owen Center was 66. Carry on. To an Illinois Class 2 truck route, and I would move for a suspension of the rules on this item.
We have a motion to suspend by Mr. Tassoni. Do we have a second by Mr. Penny? Are there any board members opposed to the suspension of rules? Very good. Please cast a yes for all members present. Mr. Tassoni.
Thank you, Chairman. I would, again, move for the approval of item 25-006.
Motion by Mr. Tassoni to approve the ordinance, second by Mr. Webster. Is there any discussion, Mr. Tassoni?
This is just, once the road is resurfaced, this will bring it up to par for it to handle 80,000-pound truckloads, I believe.
Very good. Any board member discussion on this ordinance? Very good. Are there any board members opposed to this ordinance? Very good. Please cast a yes for all members present. Mr. Tassoni.
Thank you, Chairman. Next item is 25-007. It's a resolution authorizing an engineering agreement with Fairgram to provide Phase 2 engineering and right-of-way services for Owen Center Road from Riverside Boulevard to Latham Road, and I would so move.
Moved by Mr. Tassoni. Do we have a second? Mr. Scroll seconds that motion. Any discussion, Mr. Tassoni?
None, Chairman.
Mr. Booker? Yeah. Oh, we got one. Yeah. Any board member discussion on this resolution? Or is it an ordinance? Yeah. Hearing none. Please cast a yes for all members present. Mr. Tassoni.
Thank you, Chairman. Next item, 25-008. It's a resolution authorizing the purchases of 3 plow dump truck bodies, and I would so move and speak to it.
Mr. Tassoni motions to approve, and we have a second by Mr. Hoffman and Mr. Webster. Is there Discussion, Mr. Tassoni.
Yes, Chairman. This is, we have the dump trucks in-house, I believe, but this is for all the apparatuses, the dump truck, the plow, the dump truck body, or the dump truck box, the salt spreaders, everything that goes on it to make it a complete plow truck.
Very good. Board member discussion on number 9. Mr. Webster.
Yeah, thank you, Chairman. I mentioned this at our caucus the other evening. When you see that price, it's a staggering amount we're spending on our plow trucks. And once again, I bring that up because sooner or later, we're gonna have to address the issue of building a new, new garage. The whole facility needs to be, built to put these trucks indoors. All of this equipment we have, we're spending multi-millions of dollars on this equipment. This is just 3 trucks we're talking about here. You had cars costing that much, you'd have it in your garage. We don't have indoor facilities for these trucks. After the plow situation, after the storm, they're sitting there dripping wet with salt and so forth. The bodies rot on them. It's just not a good idea at all. We need to get these trucks indoors. Can't even wash them after the storm without getting out there with the fire hose type wash job in the cold, rain, snow, whatever. And sooner or later, we're gonna have to address this issue, budget some money. We took a look at this a few years ago, and we realized how much it was gonna cost, and way more than we could afford at that time, but we need to take another look at that.
Thank you, Mr. Webster. I can assure you that Mr. Molina, myself, and others in administration are really looking at this with new lenses. So we have a plan. Very good. And we'll bring that forward as soon as we can. Any other discussion on this item? Hearing none. Any board members opposed to this resolution? Very good. Please cast a yes for all members present. Mr. Tassoni.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Our next item, Resolution 25-009. It's a resolution authorizing the execution of an engineering services agreement with Arc Design Resources, Inc., to provide Phase 1 engineering for South Perryville Road from Harrison Avenue to East State Street, and for the appropriation of the MFT funds. And I would move, and sorry, Mr. Molina, but I'd like you to speak to this for just 2 short minutes and let the board know what this means when appropriate.
So we have a motion and a second by Mr. McCarthy. Mr. Molina. You come on up. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. This project is South Perryville Road. Is a 50-year-old pavement by Cherryville Mall that we've been after funds for many years. We got $4.5 million of federal dollars through the MPO, through Region 1. So this is going to be about a $6 or $7 million project. This resolution is to start the Phase 1 engineering, and construction, you know, if everything goes right, it would be in 2027. It is a project that is needed and has been needed for 15 years. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Molina.
Now, I'm very proud of the amount of money that the county has been receiving from that MPO. It's, I don't know, how much do you think we've received in the last 4 years?
It's been about 15, 16 million.
Right, and prior to that 4 years, we were probably receiving Squatadooch? Good. Okay.
The last time that we received, was what we did is Springfield.
We all know what that word is. All right, any other board member discussion on this resolution? Hearing none, are there any board members opposed to that resolution? Very good. Please cast yes for all members present. Mr. Tassoni.
Once again, Mr. Chairman, thank you. I will move the final 2 items simultaneously as well. Item 25-011 and item 25-012. The first of which is a resolution authorizing an agreement with Realty Services and Consultants, LLC, for land appraisal services for Owen Center Road improvements from Riverside Boulevard to Latham. And the second is a resolution authorizing an agreement with Frank Petta, appraisals for land appraisal review services for Riverside Boulevard and Owen Center Road projects. So move them simultaneously.
Motion by Mr. Tassoni for number 11 and 12 by Mr. Thompson in the back. Very good. Any board member discussion? Mr. Tassoni?
No, and just once again to echo what Mr. Webster said, you know, these trucks that we're buying at the highway department, they're pushing $300,000 apiece. We don't have the adequate indoor storage and nice heated places to warm them up, melt the snow and ice off them, get them pressure washed. Makes it very difficult on the mechanics when they got to work on them, weld on them, change oil and service them. And please just keep on your mind that we're very in need of a facilities building over there to make life better. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tassoni. Any other board member discussion on item number 11 or 12? Is there any board members opposed to either item number 11 or 12? Very good. Please cast a yes for all members present. Mr. Tassoni.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That concludes our report.
All right, thank you. Got that page done. Move on to Public Safety and Judiciary Committee. Mr. Lindmark.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We don't have a report tonight, but we will be meeting Wednesday, February 12th.
Very good. Thank you. Legislative Lobbying Committee. Mr. Salgado.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have no reports, but just two things real quick. Everybody should have gotten an email from Karen on the different bills that are out there that Fulcrum is kind of monitoring for us. So take a look at that. If there's anything that jumps out at you or anything like that, please let the administration, Mr. Shirelli and Karen about that. Also, there was new information, Karen, on the different committee heads for the state, for the Senate and the legislature. So some of them should got that information. If you haven't, please let us know. We can give you that information from that information. And then finally, I know Mr. Butita sent over ordinance resolution about potentially for healthy aspects when it comes to the state of Illinois. Maybe we can send that over down. So something on our radar, just so everybody's aware of it. But that concludes our report. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. If you have an opportunity to look at that email with those bills, those are what our state lobbyist is really focusing in on, and I think you'd be interested in some of those bills. Unfinished business. Any unfinished business in front of the board this evening? You want to bring up unfinished? No unfinished? We already did the zoning committee. Any new business for the board this evening? Mr. Penny.
Yeah, just a couple of thank yous I need to give. For one, we all get questions about road work and new roads, and I just happen to have a person that lives in my district, Mr. Crane, who sent me over some questions about roads that I ironically drive almost every day, at least when I'm in town. And Carlos Mr. Molina probably gave the most detailed answer that I've ever seen in my life on roads. And I really, really appreciate you taking the time to lay it out the way you did. I do a lot of things via email with the rest of the staff, from Mr. Thompson all the way through. And I won't name everybody, and all of you are very diligent on answering questions, and I truly appreciate that. Last but not least, I'd been bothering LAFA with stuff about ordinances in the county for over a year, and I was able to put all that together and package it and send it down to Springfield. So I appreciate all your hard work on that. That's all I got. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Penny. We are definitely very fortunate to have Mr. Molina. I meet with him once a month. And the other day I asked him, I said, are you appointed, or who appoints you? And he said, I'm appointed every 6 years. And I said, why don't we do it right now? Can I do it right now for you? Renew your appointment? So we got to start thinking, I think it's this year, correct?
I have one more year.
Oh, we can do it this year.
Leave me alone.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. Go ahead, Mr. Tisson. Okay. Is that a standing suspension? We're very fortunate to have Mr. Carlos. Very good. Any other new business? Mr. McDonald.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. When can this board expect to see your next recommendation from the Mental Health Board?
When can we?
Yes, sir.
I think Mr. Arena and I, we've had some good discussions with some members of the Mental Health Board, and we are going to continue that, and then we'll get back to you on that.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, Any other questions? New business? Yes.
New business item, just an announcement. This board authorized payment of my last $10,000 from the discretionary money we got from the ARPA funds, and it went to the Harlem Community Center for their new facility. I just wanted to, I had the opportunity to tour it when it was under construction. Very impressive what they're accomplishing there, and just that they were able to get a facility like this done in the amount of time that they have. The open house is going to be on Friday, January 31st, from 3:30 to 7. This provides child care services. It's an important need countywide, and it's the services they provide are open to everybody in the county. So I encourage you all to attend. Again, January 31st from 3:30 to 7. And it's, I don't have the physical address, but if you contact me, or I'm sure everyone got this email. Wanted you to be aware. Thank you.
Very good. Any other new business in front of the board? Anybody want to bring up anything? Any staff reports, director reports for this evening? I see the sheriff is here. You were out in Washington with your, you want to say a few words on that?
It was an honor to be asked. We go back 3 years when I was at a school, and one of my FBI counterparts at the academy, was invited in from Northport, Florida, and then we're at another school in Orlando with DC Metro Commander, and he asked us if we wanted to do it. Actually, we forgot about it, and then as it got closer, he asked us if we wanted to, and it was an honor. We were outside, and then we were inside, and it was just an honor to be there on a federal level to see, the presidential, everything that was involved in the inauguration and being involved with it. We were, it got a little cool, but then we got moved in and we were on a balcony with other law enforcement, HSI, Homeland Security, and Secret Service. So we got some good pictures there on the website. So it was just an honor to be there.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
For any other director reports? No? Okay, well, I think, I just thought of it a few minutes ago. We got Thompson, Thompson, Thompson. We can add a Thompson, 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 Shirelli. We could start a law firm.
There you go.
No?
You're the senior partner.
Okay. Mr. Webster? Nope. Oh, hold on, Mr. Webster. We got Clerk Gummo.
Thank you. The items listed below were received as correspondence. Thank you.
Very nice. Very crisp in 2025. All right, Mr. Webster. Move to adjourn, second by Mr. Thompson.